Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining this. This is your girl Segment 730 doing your hot tea tarot for the collective. I hope everyone has had a wonderful week last week. We did have a full moon. I hope we are using that energy to go ahead and manifest what we want for August. August is going to be a really powerful month. So I just want to make sure that we are all still in line. Now, the divine has been having me do a lot of career oriented readings for the collective, and this reading today, it's still in that same vein, and the collective has really come far, and I want you to know that. I want you to know that the work that you're doing, it is not in vain. The divine sees how hard you're working, and they want you to know that you are so close. If you're feeling tired, the divine wants you to know you're almost there. So take the rest when you can, but keep moving, keep locking in, okay? So we have shuffled the cards, and usually how I do this collective reading is I pull out 6 tarot. I did 7. And then I do 5 flash deck. I believe there's more than that over there because I wanted to get really in depth tonight. And then, of course, our today's prayer, which is always how we seal it, because prayer is how we communicate with the divine, and meditation is how the divine communicates and settles and answers us, okay? So the cards that came out first was the 7 of Wands in reverse. Then it was the 8 of Wands in reverse. Then we had the Hangman upright. We had the Magician upright. We had the Moon in reverse. We had 9 of Wands in reverse. And we had the Ace of Cups. So that is letting me know that external pressure is weighing us down, and it's leaving us doubting ourselves and whether everything is worth it. But the divine wants you to know that you do not let your doubts get to you. Own your position and don't censor yourself to keep others happy. You may be resisting change, trying to stop the flow of energy and movement. This will only make things harder, so let go and be in the flow. If you've been feeling stuck, do things differently. Try a new routine, a new location, a new activity, and get the energy moving again. Life is on hold, and you are in a state of temporary suspension. As you await new insight and clarity, step back and look at life from a different perspective. You are taking action to manifest your goals and how the resources to create what you desire. You combine magic and practicality to bring your ideas to reality. You're driving into the murky depths of your innermost mind right now. There may be fear, anxiety, and confusion, and you need to go deeper to the core of your emotions and release this fear. Then you will be free. You're struggling and you're ready to give up, but you were also close to completing the challenge, so keep fighting. You've got this. Be careful of paranoia and defensiveness, thinking everyone is out to get you. Focus on your own game. You are filled with happiness, you are filled with joy, and you are bliss. Creative opportunities are abundant. There may be new love, friendships, or even art projects available to you now. So that is the tarot reading that you guys got. And I just want to say this aligns very well with what I've been saying over the summer, which is about our self-worth, about believing that we are worthy of it. And that's why we can't just do affirmations if we haven't really figured out the root cause of that unworthiness. For me, my root cause of unworthiness is just I lived in a Southern Baptist home and with poor African American sharecroppers, right? So that's gonna have a stigma to it. So everything we did, when your parents said do something, it wasn't they meant it. It was for survival, right? You could end up getting hurt, but that still was internalized, and it put a lot of pressure. And then on top of that, when you live in a Jim Crow South, it's going to make you feel like your self-worth isn't enough, right? And then after we left Arkansas, we moved to Oregon, I was the only black girl out of 700 students. So that feeling of worthiness still drug on. It took me going to Louisiana State University, seeing more diverse people for me to actually see that I was okay with who I was. And then it took another couple of years to really know that I was worthy of respect. I'm worthy of the same treatment that other people get. And so that is something that the divine really wants us to hone in on, is we can try to manifest as much as we want, but the root of all this manifesting, it's about your worth. So when you say, I want to manifest something big, and you manifest something small, manifestations don't lie about what you got going on in your subconscious, okay? Because if you really feel you're worthy, it will come. But if you even, and this is why it's really important to have that faith of a mustard seed, right? So that way you know that your manifestations will take hold, right? So let's get into the flashcards, okay? And this is also, again, this is career and love. The number one thing with love is, don't be so paranoid. You're almost at your goal. Maybe you worked really hard to get this person in your life. Maybe you worked really hard to do that shadow work so that you could be prepared for this relationship. And Spirit wants you to know that that hard work is not in vain. That person will recognize that, and that person will love it. If that person doesn't, just remember, maybe that person was the catalyst to get you to do this change. And always remember, if your soulmate says, I don't want to uphold my karmic part of this contract, the divine can send you another one, right? It's not locked in. It's just, it's like a waterfall, right? It's impermanence. That's what fate is. It's impermanence. Nothing is sealed, but it's still going, right? Exactly like a waterfall. So the first card out, the first flash card, is going to be the red stripes and the pink stripes going horizontal. And this represents calmness. So it's telling you all is calm, path is clear, proceed with passion and hope, good health, success, passion, and approachability. So the divine is letting you know that you need to keep your energy up, work out, hang out with really great friends so that you can finish the goal, okay? The next card is a waterfall. That's ironic that we talked about that, where it's saying we're moving too fast, we're rushing. So we did have the hangman, which is letting us know we're not necessarily in limbo, but we are waiting for an answer. Maybe we're waiting on a call back from a boss. Maybe we're waiting on a call back from an apartment. Maybe we're waiting on a call back from that special someone. But the divine is saying we're moving too fast and we could be rushing. And the divine is making sure we are standing still so that way we're able to meditate and get clarity if this is the right decision for us, right? Moving fast will always get us in bad places, okay? The next card is a blooming lotus flower, and that is a united front. So the divine is saying, in order for these goals to be accomplished, do not fall apart, right? Remember, we talked about the paranoia. We talked about thinking everyone is out to get us, when in reality, no one is out to get you. Everybody is super proud of you because you've accomplished so much, collective, that they really want to see you complete it. So continue to have the mindset that everybody is working for you, everything works for your good, and this is a united front, because that's how the devil works, right? He's in the details. It's that little voice, the saboteur. The next card out is our paper fans, which signify power and dignity. So the divine wants you to have power and dignity. The divine basically don't want you showing your ass, collective, okay? The divine wants you to know those hiccups that you're having with this, it's meant to produce this patience, okay? Hiccups are normal, all right? You should be very worried if you put out an idea and it goes super smooth. You should be very worried about that, because no great idea, nothing that is born from the divine will be easy, right? You'll love doing it, but the process will be a little grueling. You'll have to really think and dig deep and see what you want to create, because that's exactly the divine, right? It took him 7 days to complete everything, right? And at the end of the 7th day on that Saturday, he's like, ooh, y'all, I did good, but I'm sleepy. So even in that, there was a power and dignity, and that's what the divine wants you to have. While you're creating, have that same power and dignity. Know when to keep your mouth shut. Know when to let things roll off of your back is what I'm hearing, okay? And as I say that, the next flash card is breathe. So you may be in your head a lot. You may be having some negative dark thoughts circling, and the divine wants you to take a few deep breaths, go outside, get grounded, maybe do some yoga at the beginning of every day and at the end of every day to reset your heart and reset your mind, because the divine really wants you to do this with power, dignity, and grace. And he wants you to stay united. The reason this person also wants you to do this, what happens when you get successful? You don't want these people to be upset with your success. You want these people to also celebrate in your success, right? This project probably was a long venture and you were lonely, and now you have a team around you. So stay in that positive aura so that you don't run these people off, because this could be your soul family, right? The next card is a bonsai tree, which represents wisdom, longevity, luck, and success. So you see what I'm saying? This is also confirmation that the project that you're working on, it will be able to take care of you for a very long time if you treat it like the bonsai tree. And how do we treat a bonsai tree? We treat a bonsai tree almost like a living person. We cater to that bonsai tree. We make sure that the roots are right. We trim the branches, and we also do it with intention. And so that's what the divine wants for you and this project or this next relationship, okay? Be intentional with your actions, be intentional with your words. Just be very intentional with the things that you do, because that's going to be laying the groundwork and the stones for the wisdom, the longevity, the luck, and the success, okay? The last card is mirroring soulmates. So you may have a soulmate out there who you were like, they're not going to wait for me while I get my shit together. And I got a lot of shit to do, right? But this is the divine letting you know that your soulmate is actually doing the same thing as you are, okay? So that is amazing, okay? The bottom of the deck, there is beauty in all things. So the divine wants you to really, in this hangman energy, they want you to stop feeling stuck. The reason that they have you in the hangman energy is so that you can change your perspective, okay? Yes, it is grueling. Yes, it's a thankless job, or yes, you've put in a lot of effort. But think about what happens when all that effort is returned to you tenfold. Think about the look of astonishment, the feeling of accomplishment you'll have because you didn't give up. Because that's the number one thing in this life. People will give up, but when you don't give up, it makes you feel good on the inside. And when you can feel good on the inside, that is what makes us vibe high, right? And that's what my number one goal is, for us to always vibe at our highest. But you've got someone coming, and guess what? You the ace of cups, babe. So that means you've done your work, and keep going. Rest when you need to, because even the divine did so, okay? And that's going to be your collective reading, okay? So now I'm going to pull our today's prayer, which comes from Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So this is why the divine wants you to remove that paranoia and thinking everybody's out to get you, because it will cloud your judgment and it will cloud your creativity, okay? Keep an open heart, and that way love can find its way in. And from what the bottom of the deck is saying, it's coming really soon. All right, from my place to your place, from my heart to your heart. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you feel this reading is for someone else, please feel free to let them hear it, okay? Oh, as always, be blessed, never stressed.